Hello, cats and kittens. Orewa Jose Yoroshku. I am back in the Crisis Corner, and I wanted to do a spot on uniforms. Superhero genre. I write superhero comics, and I love uniforms. I love coming up with the concept of a good team uniform. And what I'm doing right now is a top 10, my favorite. I'm not going to say greatest of all time because greatest of all time is subjective. I'm saying my top 10 comic book manga uniforms of all time. And this was harder than I thought it should be. I thought it would be. But I came up with 10. Some are famous, some are infamous. At least one is infamous. But let's get it started. And the criteria here is that the uniform has to have standard in either design or color and like a logo. The point is you have to clearly be discernible as a team. So the Justice League doesn't count. The Avengers don't count because anybody can be an Avenger and anybody can wear whatever it is they wear. Usually, when they're an Avenger, and you wouldn't be able to tell who is who until they say Avengers Assemble, and whoever shows up, shows up. So I'm looking for uniforms that let you know that these cats are in the same crew. Okay. Now, with that said, I'm just going to run down the list and give a brief explanation to what uniform and why they are at that level. So I'm starting off at number 10 with The Incredibles. Okay, The Incredibles. Why at number 10? They're at number 10 not because they have the least favorite design, but they don't have the years of service to trump anyone above them. But I love the design. It's a throwback to the old school. You can tell if you wearing these colors and you got the logo. Logos are key. You got the logo. You know that these are the Incredibles. These are the cats that's coming after you. Clearly, it's this crew, and you can tell. At number 9, I dip into manga, and I'm going to go with the Voltron Force. The Voltron Force. Again, this is a military outfit, a military unit. So, of course, yes, they have the same basic design with a color variation, but it's the same uniform. I wish I could put up a image of the old school Voltron from what was it, 70s or the 80s early. I'm not too much for the newer versions of Voltron, but old school Voltron was a nice, tight uniform, military outfit, and you know who's coming after you, the Voltron Force. Back in anime manga, I gotta go at number 8 with the G Force from Battle of the Planets. Similar to Voltron, a little bit older, but I'm more familiar with Voltron than I am with Battle of the Planets. I watched both of them as a kid, but I like the wings. I like the little capes, but I like that they have different colors and slightly different designs for each of them. But at the end of the day, the helmets, the face shields, everything is uniform. And again, they have a logo. You know who's coming after you. The G Force, Battle of the Planets. That works our way up to number 7. And here's where we get infamous. The Akatsuki. You go to this day, if you go to any Comic Con, any manga, anime con, you're going to see somebody rocking that black cloak with the red cloud on it. They had the look, infamous, they had rings. You knew if these cats showed up, it was the Akatsuki. But at the same time, within that uniform or that outfit, there was room for variation, mainly due to the weapons that whatever member may be carrying. There was some variation there, and if they took the cloaks come off, you're going to see a uh, different clothes underneath. So there was variation within that look, but the cloaks, the headbands, of course, there was going to be a variation there because they're representing whatever village they defected from. But they had a standard look that was iconic and is still being cosplayed to this day. So I'm putting Akatsuki at number 7. Coming in at 6, I have another military outfit, the Gotei 13 from Bleach. Similar to the Akatsuki, except for they're good guys. There is a standard look. There is the Hiyori, I believe they're called. Hiyori, however that's pronounced. All of the Shimigami have their standard robe, but at the same time, there's variation for look for the individual. Shishui, he has his colorful uh, flower prints. You got Zaraki Kenpachi. I think he has his sleeves torn off. Then you got people like Kachiki Byakuya. He has that scarf. And Kurosuchi Mayuri, he's got that weird hat. There's a variation for style within that standard robe. But you have the robe and you have the logo on the back. You know who you're dealing with. So I'm going with the Gotei 13 at 6. Coming in at number 5, I'm going back to the world of anime, manga, or however you want to put it. And I got to go with the Power Rangers. The Power Rangers, I'm going with them because they are iconic. And these cats, they're iconic, man. They moved, units. They sold a lot. You get the cosplay aspect. You get the iconic look. I mean, the Power Rangers. Power Rangers are Power Rangers. We're still dealing with that same Voltron, Battle of the Planets type, same uniform, different colors type deal, but you still had, I forget which one of the girls had like a skirt type situation going, but they all basically are wearing the same outfit. Just you had the Blue Ranger, Red Ranger, so and so Ranger, White Ranger, so forth. But it's an iconic look and it's streamlined. So I got to give them their flowers. Give the Power Rangers their flowers. They only get as high as 5, though. Coming in ahead of them, another military outfit, the Green Lantern Corps. The Green Lantern Corps are like an improvement on the Power Rangers. Their numbers are deeper, and their uniforms are more streamlined because you're going to get that lantern logo. You got the black, green, and white. But the variation in this aspect comes in terms of form. Some of these people are humanoid. Some got 2 arms, 2 legs, head, blah, blah, blah. Some of them are as big as a planet. Some of them are as small as a squirrel. So you're going to get variation in terms of shape and size, but the basic design is uniform. When you see that green, you see that white, you see that black, you know the Green Lantern Corps is coming for you. You know who you're dealing with. So that's a classic design, great design. I'm going with Green Lantern Corps at number 4. Now this one gets tricky and it's going to be a little weird, but I gotta give the Sailor Scouts I gotta give them their flowers, man. Sailor Moon, I don't know what to tell you, man. They moved units. Old school, you gotta give them their flowers. And the Sailor Scouts, they have this Sailor Scout look. You know, the little Sailor Scout skirts, blah, blah, blah. Is it the most fair, inspiring thing you ever seen? No, but you know who's coming after you. They move units, man. To this day, people are still cosplaying as Sailor Moon, Sailor Mercury, Sailor Venus, whoever. So again, it's a situation like I don't know the Beatles or something. You might say, oh, they're not rock or whatever. They're not as hardcore as the Stones, but you got to give them their flowers because they moved units. So I'm giving the Sailor Scouts number 3. I'm gonna probably get laughed at for that. But now we come into the top 2. My top 2 You could flip either one depending on who you like more, but I'm going with the old school blue and yellow X-Men. Back when everybody was wearing the same thing. And this is the Jim Lee version right here, which is deadly, to be honest with you. So I'm going with the X-Men at number 2 because it's a classic look. It's a clean look. You know, you can go back to the Incredibles where it's a clean look. There's more variation on in the X-Men's uniforms, I would say, than you would have got with the Incredibles because of the variation on abilities. You know, Cyclops, Jean Grey, whatever, but that uniform is classic, clearly identifiable, and they have a logo. They have that X, the X-Men. Coming in at number 2, and my go-to, my greatest of all time, the GOATs, is the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four. And I'm going with the John Byrne 80s. Navy blue, I think, and white. I think it was. Yeah. So you can see the image there. That's classic. You can even go with the black and blue if you want. But I'm more or less for this specific design because that's what I came up with in the 80s. That design to me that's the Fantastic Four. And it is what the Incredibles were going after. That family unit, but still a crew. But it's a very clean look. The 4 is just classic. It's iconic. And you can't really get much better than that. Again, you could go flip-flop 2 and 1 if you like, but to me, Fantastic Four, they're the GOAT uniform. Greatest of all time. So that's my top 10, and I had to reach on a couple of them, but that's where I stand. Let me know what you think. What is your top 10 uniform look in comics, manga? Maybe we could do sci-fi at one point with Star Trek and all that other stuff. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you respect any of these dudes or if you ain't feeling none of them. But that's where I'm at. That's it from the Creative Corner, from the Crisis Corner. Until next time, stay loose.